Aren't relationships meant to be full of honesty, love, and trust? Then how come so many individuals play stupid relationship games? They continually leave the other person on their toes, feeling uncomfortable and uneasy. Well, I'm simply bored of it. Aren't you? If you're someone who has been trapped in a relationship that was nothing but mind games, then you know exactly how aggravating it can be. You never fully feel comfortable in the relationship, and you never really get to know your spouse. Why do people play relationship games? Don't text back for at least 3 hours. You can't appear too eager. Don't call him while he's with his pals. Don't act like you are too interested since boys/girls don't appreciate it. You can't make the first move or begin anything that's desperate. There are so many can'ts, don'ts, and guidelines you need to remember if you intend on dating in this day and age. It's like the Hunger Games weren't realistic enough, so we devised the love games. The issue with these love games is that everybody who participates will eventually lose. We're so busy being aloof and unreachable that we spoil everything potentially fantastic before it even has a chance to get off the ground. But why do people play games? There are a variety of reasons why someone may pull someone else along and play mental games with them in a relationship. As I'm sure you all know now, it appears as if males prefer to play more mind games than women do. However, women may be just as culpable. People that play relationship games frequently lead a person on, pretend interest, and leave them puzzled as to how they feel about them. They frequently do this because they are afraid, or maybe simply because they want to have someone around, but aren't quite ready to commit to them. But relationship games become pretty old fairly soon. One person can only endure so much manipulation, lying, and sometimes even cheating until they ultimately crack and panic out. But the question is, how do you stop these games in relationships and concentrate on love instead? I know it's incredibly hard not to become upset and irritated with someone who is playing games with your heart and emotions. It may be so tempting to indulge in a yelling fight that can soon escalate and become nasty when you're being dragged along with unpleasant relationship games. But the worst thing you can do is to stress out unreasonably. Try to take a big breath, stay cool, and allow yourself a chance to logically decide how to move from here. The first approach is to find out what the issue is, if any. Not all individuals play relationship games on purpose, because they don't want to commit. Some individuals can be suffering actual challenges in their life that force them to play these games unwittingly. Your responsibility, before freaking out and making a large production of it, is to discover whether there is a true problem inside the partnership. One approach to figure this out without having to face them directly is to take a glance at their former relationships. Was there cheating involved? Was there anything that may have given them a cause to have trust issues? If so, then these factors might be the grounds for their relationship games, and you'll need to address them individually. But if your tolerance is running thin or you've been dealing with their relationship games for quite some time, it's completely appropriate to open up and speak to them about it. Sometimes, they don't even know where they're doing it. Other times, calling them out on their immature conduct is enough to make it stop. I propose doing this in person, at a moment when you're both relaxed. This way, they can't evade any inquiries by not replying to a text or saying they didn't receive it. When you chat with them in person, you'll also be able to see how they feel about it by their reply and body language. Another thing to consider when you don't want to give up the connection is that they might be playing games to make themselves more desirable to you. Although this strategy to attract someone isn't usually particularly efficient, plenty of individuals like to employ it, especially if they're bashful about communicating their emotions with you. If you take a little time to scout out what's going on, they could loosen up on their relationship games if they discover that you're into them, too. Realize that it isn't your fault, since a lot of individuals frequently assume if they were just prettier, more fascinating, funnier, or more confident, their love interest would have never messed with them in the first place, but the fact is that it is their responsibility. There's nothing that you could have done differently that would have made them quit playing their relationship games with you. If it weren't happening to you, it would undoubtedly be happening to some other female or person. Never play along with them, don't give in to their game-playing antics. You undoubtedly know all of the telltale indications that they're ready to pull something on you, so don't play along. When they start with their excuses, call them out on it. Not only will they recognize that you're not playing along anymore, but they'll be more inclined to discontinue this conduct in the future. Finally, while there are individuals who play games merely because they didn't want to express their thoughts for whatever reasons, there are also others who just games for enjoyment. This one is really clear and straightforward. If you know that someone has a reputation for being a player, don't get involved with them. Reputations aren't produced from thin air. So if you do hear that someone has a horrible reputation, but you've come to like them, get to know them very well before beginning anything serious. Always remember that your happiness should always take precedence in your life, even if you have significant affection for someone. We hope you liked this video, like and subscribe for more educative videos like this.